Chapter 2. Chapter 3. You're always being guided, even when it doesn't feel like it. As you journey further into the lessons in this book, it's helpful to keep in mind that the world is your classroom and other people are your assignments. Every experience you perceive on the movie screen that is your life gives rise to one of two choices: to learn through the perception of love or to learn through the perception of fear. Each instance is a holy encounter providing a divine spiritual assignment in which you can choose to heal or to stay stuck in the bondage of your past. If you choose to show up for the universal assignments with a willingness to heal, then many miracles will be presented to you. But if you're unwilling to show up for these assignments, you will stay stuck in the stories and experiences that do not serve you. A powerful example is my friend Lance. Growing up, Lance picked up a fear-based story that he wasn't smart enough. He went through his life trying to control this fear by anesthetizing his discomfort with alcohol, relationships, work, and all sorts of addictive patterns. Numbing his fear got him nowhere. In his early 30s, Lance wised up to the fact that he was avoiding his discomfort, and he made the powerful decision to get sober and begin a path of recovery. I met Lance early in his recovery, and we became great friends. By this point, I was coming up on 10 years of sobriety and was well aware of all the ways fear plays a role in early recovery. I was therefore able to witness Lance's experience and help guide him to see the universal lessons in his discomfort. 2 years into Lance's recovery, he got into a relationship with an awesome woman. This lady was great. She treated him well and respected his opinions. What was most interesting about this woman, although Lance couldn't see it at first, was that her sense of humor triggered all his insecurities. She would often joke with him about how he wasn't up to speed with the latest news, or he couldn't figure out how to follow a simple recipe. What was merely a joking way of pushing a lover's buttons majorly triggered Lance. Even though his girlfriend was kidding around and having fun, her jokes gave new life to Lance's old fear story about not being smart enough. Lance projected his old story onto his new experience, choosing to see through the lens of fear rather than the lens of love. Lance came to me for advice, feeling deeply wounded and upset. He said, "I'm just going to have to break up with her. Clearly I'm not good enough for her. She deserves someone smarter than me." I responded with a spiritual throwdown. "Hold up, man. This is your crazy talking. You are projecting your old fear story onto a totally innocent situation." Within a few minutes, he was able to see clearly how he'd projected the perception of fear onto his new girlfriend. I went on to explain to Lance that his girlfriend was the perfect universal assignment for him to face his fear. This woman was no accident. She was divinely placed in his life at a time when he was ready to heal his old wounds and recover once and for all. His commitment to get sober sent a message to the universe that he was willing to play big in this lifetime and restore his faith in love. I explained that he'd unconsciously asked for greater healing, and the universe provided it, in the form of a loving woman who would push all his buttons so that he'd be forced to finally face his fear. Lance resisted this concept at first. "It's too painful. I can't face it," he said. "She deserves someone better." I replied, "Are you willing to be happy and free?" He said, "Yes, of course." I responded, "Then you better show up for this assignment now, or it will show up again and again in all your future partners." Lance took my advice and followed the steps I suggested for how to show up for the universal assignment. You too probably have a universal assignment waiting for you. Maybe it's a fearful story from your past that you've projected onto your present, or maybe, like Lance, you don't even realize there is anything to face. Perhaps you just assume that you are the victim of the world you see and that there is nothing you can do about it. Well, I'm here to bust that myth now. You are not a victim, and you can be happy and free. If you're ready to begin the journey toward freedom, then it's time to show up for the universal assignment. Universal lesson. The world is your classroom, and people are your assignments. Below are the steps I shared with Lance. Follow them to begin the process of showing up for your universal assignments. Step 1. Recognize the assignment and call it by its name. The first step is to witness that what may seem to be a terribly uncomfortable situation is actually a universal assignment. In other words, witness your craziness and call it by its name, fear. Then accept that the fear has shown up in this way as a divine assignment for healing and growth. Take a deep, honest look at the situation that's causing you pain and identify all the ways that the person or circumstance is triggering your fear-based beliefs. Honor yourself for having the strength to witness this instead of running from it. Be proud of yourself for seeing it as an assignment. Trust that if you weren't ready to accept this assignment, you wouldn't have pressed play on this book. By choosing to listen to this, you unconsciously signed a sacred contract that said you're ready to go big, you're ready to heal, and you're ready to be free. Step 2, accept that you cannot avoid the assignment. The second step is all about accepting that you cannot avoid the assignment. You can only postpone it. If you don't choose to accept the assignment today, it will continue to present itself in new relationships and experiences. If you don't show up for it, it will continue to show up for you. You have 2 choices in this situation. The first choice is that you can follow fear, F everything, and run. Sometimes that may feel like the safest option. Trust me, it's not. Running from fear is like running around a track. You inevitably wind up back in the same place again and again until you truly accept it. So instead of following fear, I recommend showing up for the assignment with grace. Be willing to show up for the assignment once and for all, and trust that the universe never gives you what you cannot handle. Step 3, honor your feelings. Showing up for the universal assignment requires your willingness to feel the pain it triggers so you can heal from the past. Many folks on a spiritual path skip this incredibly important step. It's easy to throw an affirmation on top of your fear or try to will it away, but underneath all our difficult experiences are unfelt anger, resentment, and fear. The practice of healing long-held suffering begins the moment you acknowledge the suffering is there. Give yourself permission to witness your rage, your anger, and your hidden resentment. In Chapter 2, we revisited the stories that you've been projecting onto your life. Now take some time to honor the feelings that live below those stories. Underneath your fear-based projections are deep, hidden wounds that you've been ignoring because you're afraid of feeling that old pain. Instead of allowing the pain to be present, you project it onto other people, your circumstances, even your physical body. The fearful part of your mind will never do what it takes to distract you from feeling this pain, because the moment you start to feel it is the moment you start to heal it. We cling to fear out of habit. We're convinced that it's safer to deny our uncomfortable feelings. But what we repress will persist no matter how good we get at avoiding it. While it may seem terrifying to face our deepest wounds, there is always freedom on the other side. When you begin to slow down and open up spiritually, you may become even more aware of the ways you've been resisting true healing. You may see how your addictive patterns have masked your feelings, or how your high-strung energy made you move so fast that you never slowed down long enough to feel. These behaviors are an unconscious form of resistance. True healing occurs when you give yourself permission to feel whatever feelings live below the triggers. Rather than ending the relationship, leaving the job, or otherwise avoiding the assignments, show up for them fully and completely by allowing yourself to feel all the pain and rage. When you notice that you're triggered by your universal assignment, breathe into the pain. Feeling the pain allows it to pass through you, and it strips away its power. Letting yourself feel the pain releases you from fearing it. Rather than acting out or pouring all your energy into avoiding discomfort, you can just feel. And when you do that, you can truly embrace the universal assignment and heal the pattern for good. It's important to note that as you go deeper into this work, you may begin to uncover feelings or memories that could be disorienting. Often traumatic memories or sensations can come to the surface when you do deep feeling work. Be mindful of this, and if at any point you feel overwhelmed by these feelings, don't hesitate to seek therapeutic support. If you feel safe to honor your feelings, then you can begin with this simple meditation. Follow my guidance now. If you're driving, save this meditation for later. Sit in a safe and comfortable space with no distractions. Breathe in and identify where the pain, anger, resentment, and fear live in your body. Now release it. Then place your hands onto this area of your body, bringing energy and attention to it. Breathe slowly and deeply into this area of your body, allowing yourself to feel the physical and emotional pain that dwells in that place. Continue to breathe deeply into the pain and discomfort. Be loving and gentle with yourself as you explore the depths of these feelings. On every exhale, release the pain. As you breathe deeper into the discomfort, you'll begin to feel it dissipate. The tension in your body will release, and you'll start to relax. Continue this practice as long as it takes to feel a sense of relief. As soon as you feel the tension subside, breathe in deeply and exhale a sigh of relief. Continue this breath for 1 minute. Then take a deep breath into the place in your body where you're feeling pain. Hold your breath for a moment while you gently press your hands onto that place. Envision a ball of golden light pouring into this space in your body. On the exhale, release. Take one last deep breath in and release. When you're ready, open your eyes. This meditation can give you a newfound sense of freedom and will help you face your universal assignment with ease. Practice it daily or even multiple times a day, allowing yourself to embrace the pain and discomfort. You may get so good at it that you can simply feel your feelings in stillness for 1 to 2 minutes and find great relief from the hidden rage, anger, and pain. Step 4. Call on compassion. You'll likely notice a sense of peace set in as you begin to feel your feelings, which unshackles you from fear. The next step is to call on compassion. The pathway to healing old wounds is through honoring yourself for all that you've been through, acknowledging the conditioning that you've experienced, and compassionately loving yourself back to peace. Compassion is the antidote to anger, resentment, and fear. Compassion gives you permission to let go and allow deep healing to begin. The process of compassion begins with your self-talk. How would you speak to an innocent child if he or she were coming out of a meltdown? Think about the loving words and energy you would offer them. Then apply this same degree of love to yourself. Take a moment to write down some ways that you could speak to yourself compassionately. For instance, when I notice myself stuck in a universal lesson, I allow myself to feel the feelings of rage and anger, and then I notice that those feelings come from a sense of not being lovable. The fear comes from a belief that I'm not good enough. Upon realizing these feelings, I compassionately guide myself back to love. I say things to myself like, Gabs, you're back in that old belief system again. These stories are so painful, and I honor you for how you feel. I understand how tough it must be to go through this. I have so much compassion for where you are in this moment. It's safe to feel those feelings. I love you. These words can catapult me into a place of calm. This is a practice of self-soothing, self-love, and self-compassion. Universal lesson. The pathway to healing occurs when you love yourself so much that the darkness from the past can no longer coexist with your faith in the light of the present moment. Once you've undergone the practice of compassionately loving yourself back to your right mind, you're ready to ask the universe for help. Step 5. Place your faith in the universe. Step 5 is designed to help you learn to rely on the universe for support and guidance. Remember, the universe will never give you anything you cannot handle. No matter how difficult your universal assignment may seem, you can find comfort in the fact that the universe is always supporting what is of the highest good. By embracing the universe as your support system, you're no longer relying solely on your own power to solve your problems. It's okay if placing faith in the universe is new to you. Every chapter in this book will help deepen your faith and strengthen your relationship with the universe. So for today, begin your new faithful relationship with the universe by asking for help with this beautiful prayer. Thank you. Thank you, universe, for presenting me with this divine assignment for spiritual growth and healing. I am ready and willing to show up for this assignment with love. I welcome your support. Show me where to go, what to do, and what to say. I trust I'm being guided. Step 6. Take care of your side of the street. Once you've accepted your assignment and surrendered to the universe for healing, you will immediately feel lighter. You'll feel a sense of release in knowing that you've begun the process of healing your old patterns. The more you surrender, the more faithful you'll feel. But what about the people who play starring roles in your fear-based story? Like in Lance's case, his girlfriend was left in the dark, unaware of the reasons he was so upset. As soon as he began showing up for his assignment, I suggested he heal the energy between them. The way he did this was by outing his fear and acknowledging the assignment to his girlfriend. He explained to her that he had an old wound that he was now ready to heal. He shared that her jokes were triggering his wound, and he apologized for the actions that resulted from his fear. By outing his fear, they instantly felt closer. We're often afraid of being vulnerable, but vulnerability is incredibly powerful. It creates genuine connection. When you're ready to clean up your side of the street, don't be afraid to be vulnerable. There's nothing sexier than your authentic truth. Step 7. Welcome healing. The final step is allowing the healing to occur naturally. All you need to do is have the willingness to accept the assignment, show up for it, and pray for it to be healed. As you continue on with the lessons in this book, you'll deepen your faith in the universe and be presented with new opportunities for release. Just step back and let the universe lead the way. You will be amazed by the miracles that unfold. The universe will do for you what you cannot do for yourself. All the greatest healing I've experienced in my life has come from an experience that the universe placed in front of me and not something I made happen. That's the beauty of a spiritual path. When you surrender and allow the universe to do her thing, true healing is presented to you. In every moment, the universe is conspiring to bring you toward right-minded thinking and the energy of love. It's your choice to lean toward love or lean toward fear. This entire book is an exercise in leaning toward love so that eventually it becomes automatic. Begin now by accepting your assignment and following these steps. The payoff of following this plan is that you will no longer feel powerless over your life's circumstances, and you will stop playing the role of victim. Your spiritual path will give you a sense of power you've never known before, the power that lies in the experience of surrender. Surrendering may seem scary to you right now. That's normal, and I would fully expect you to feel that way. Just keep it simple and begin by surrendering to the fact that you are willing to show up for the universal assignment. That's the perfect place to start. When Lance showed up for his assignment, he was able to be vulnerable and authentic with his girlfriend. When he followed these steps, he released the hold his past fear had on him and healed his false perceptions. And while over time, their relationship eventually ended on mutual terms, Lance wasn't disappointed, for he knew in his heart that this woman had come into his life for a reason. She was divinely planted at the exact time when he was ready to show up for his universal assignment. Even though they didn't stay together, the relationship was miraculous. The miracle wasn't a lifelong partnership. The miracle was that Lance showed up for the assignment and shifted his perception of himself and the world. Great relief is available to you too. By showing up for your assignment, you'll deepen your relationships and strengthen your trust in others. You'll learn that it's safe to be vulnerable. You will no longer feel the need to hide from your past pain because it will no longer have a hold on you. Universal lesson. Freedom from the past is available to you when you show up for the assignment in the present. Facing your fears and showing up for your assignments can be terrifying. The inner voice of fear has likely been extremely loud throughout your life. In many ways, you've grown to rely on fear to keep yourself safe. Your fear has made you feel separate from others and disconnected from love. Therefore, this process may bring up a lot of uncomfortable emotions. Welcome these emotions. Showing up fully and completely is necessary for full healing. Take the plunge and trust in the process. I can testify that when you show up for your universal assignments, you will be set free. My greatest experiences of healing, recovery, and spiritual growth are all the result of my willingness to do so. If you're not feeling ready to face your assignment, that's fine. At any point in this book, you can return to this chapter and follow this path. Your readiness is crucial to creating this powerful shift. Let's recap the steps to healing your universal assignments. Recognize the assignment and call it by its name, fear. Accept that you cannot avoid the assignment and be willing to show up. Your readiness will clear the path. Feel the feelings that live underneath the old pain. Call on compassion to clear the path. Ask the universe for help and rely on a power greater than you. Take care of your side of the street and own your part in the situation. Welcome healing and expect miracles. In Chapter 4, I guide you to the next step of surrendering to the universe. I help you understand how your images, thoughts, and perceptions affect your energy, and I offer guidance on how to strengthen your energetic presence. Stay open and receptive, and enjoy every step of this beautiful journey we are on together. Chapter 4. Your vibes speak louder than your words. The first few chapters of this book introduced the concept that your inner